Niggas hold swag, ain't half my chick's bag. No jokes, those that get you smoked like quick drags. Niggas let us say I'm broke, how? I was running around 50,000 plus a feature named Bieber on a mixtape. Sound wild like Tory putting the thou down. Try and make a bitch bow down in the chow chows. Ain't no time for cosigns. Niggas wasn't giving it, these niggas was living it up. Dropping the rock, I'm picking it up. Robbing the game, I'm sticking it up. When I spit, niggas think I'm in that lab fighting. Niggas think I'm left hooking and I'm jab writing. One thing is I ain't in that lab writing, nigga. Everything is off top, word in my ball spot. I'm a predator, killing any competitor. You could throw it better, this nigga, we on some better ish. I'm still stunting airways through the monitors. Hip and hop doctor, I'm giving niggas thermometers. Working on the strip, chilling with a 30 on my hip. Whole team of shooters, bunch of Steph Currys in my clique, boy. I'm a wild boy. I don't play no games, I get paid. I don't need a father rap, I sensei. Niggas want beef, I give them a mince made. It's either you call it peace or catch some mint grave. Dance, it's 4 hoes with me. If them 4 hoes get me, shorty, it won't be a 5th chance. Dance, dance.
Daystar, Shemuel, Shua, Peterson, aka Tory Lanez, born July 27, 1992. It's been a very interesting last few years for today's feature. He went gold in 2019, and with the world entering a pandemic and following quarantine, he had an interesting idea that could light the fuse he needed to take his career even further. So, Quarantine Radio started and was a hit. But soon after, things took an opposite turn that brought his rising career to a halt. A career that began as luck fell into his lap, being noticed online for his talent and quickly whisked away into a world he so desperately wanted to show he belonged. I must admit, I was never the biggest fan of Tory Lanez musically, as his style to me seemed much of a collection of other styles, all rolled in one and flavored with a touch of manipulation of older art that worked, repurposed for modern consumption, and packaged as the character Tory Lanez. There's a saying, the best actors are also the best imitators, for whatever that's worth. Regardless my personal feelings, there's no question there were a lot of listeners that enjoyed what I may have missed, and there's no question he actually has a tremendous amount of talent. Ironically, it was Quarantine Radio that showed me. In this new era, besides Juice WRLD, before his untimely demise, Tory Lanez was one of the best and quickest song makers I've seen. I watched him ask the audience to choose a beat from the ones he played and a topic, then go in the booth and freestyle an entire song, and it was fire. For me, it felt like the first time being introduced to the artist Tory Lanez. Not an imitator on a quest to be the next Meek Mill or next Drake. Like he finally found the lane, so to speak, that he could make his own. In 2016, he released his first gold album and first of 6 straight projects that landed in the top 10 on the Billboard charts. The album included the song that initially gained attention for Lanez, Say It, the brownstone sample that felt like fresh air in 2015 for hip-hop and specifically R&B fans. For the next 5+ years, he's released a project almost every year and remains in the minds of the core audience he's cultivated. But going to another level takes more. In the midst of showing he had that, he gets entangled in a web with another artist that happened to be the hottest female rapper in the game at the time, in Meg Thee Stallion. What we know to be true is that one night while hanging out together, she was hit by a bullet or fragments of it and blamed it on Tory Lanez. She has since tried everything to have him pay for it, even if it meant with his career. And here we are now, a budding superstar that now looks further than ever away from where he once was on pace to go. Here's what happened and a few other reasons his growth was stunning. Let's talk about it. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth Music. Let's get it, man. Tory Lanez is a rap and R&B artist from Brampton, Ontario, Canada that moved around a lot as a youth due to losing his mother to a rare disease at just 11 years old and his father becoming a traveling minister. This led to him picking up styles and sounds from all over the US and Canada after being sent back there from Florida to live with his grandmother in Toronto. Not being able to control young Daystar, he was kicked from the house and migrated to a small downtown apartment to live with guys Tory Lanez recalls barely knowing. He dropped out of high school in the 10th grade and began to pursue music seriously. He'd conduct live shows outside on the corner anywhere he could get attention and online in places like YouTube. Through YouTube, Sean Kingston saw and heard Tory Lanez and signed him to his label, along with introducing him to industry connects he desperately needed at the time. His name is a combination of his first rap name, Notorious, ode to Biggie, and his tendency to play in the streets as a youth more than he should have. Stunt number 1, lack of originality. Drake's little brother, Tory Lanez, freestyle in the room. The title of a 2010 video directing traffic to it by mentioning the hottest rising rapper in the game, Drake, in what seemed like an elaborate plan, all put together by either Tory Lanez himself or his team to bring Drake into the conversation. Made more clear by the video released by Tory Lanez after the freestyle went viral that he in fact isn't Drake's little brother, and since the conversation became about Drake, would pay anyone $10K if Drake listened to his music and didn't like it. Great idea that actually worked. Besides the ones that clowned the attempt, he gained new fans who were directly into the sound he was going for, everything Drake does. Only Lanez felt as a better technical singer, he could take things further. Also, with the spotlight on Canada, Toronto specifically, now was the time. From then, Tory Lanez went on a run of mixtape releases, including his popular series Chicks Tape 1 and 2 by 2014. Using his industry connections, he began ghostwriting for names such as T.I., August Alsina, and Travis Scott. 2015 was a big year for Lanez as his first hit single, Say It, dropped and made him now a viable rising star that didn't have to pretend to get on. Only it felt like Tory never stopped pretending. Early on, his sound sounded like a soup of popular rappers at the time, from Drake to Meek Mill, a bit of The Weeknd, and Travis Scott. But with enough fans to go around, he was able to have success on his debut album I Told You in August 2016, seeing it sell 52,000 copies its first week and eventually going gold. He'd follow that up with all his albums becoming top 10 charting albums and even another gold album. Yet and still, I think the disconnect with an important portion of the hip-hop audience was because when it comes to Tory Lanez, you never really know what or who he'll sound like next. Stunt number 2, his social image. Now that social media is very much a viable part of the music industry and life in general, if you're a person with any sort of brand, it's important how the public views it. In music today, branding is everything. The way things appear is the only thing that matters, even if behind the scenes everyone is in on it. There's a lot of artists that got into the game because of the right branding, and Tory was no different. The connection to Drake he may or may not have made the fans believe early on was clever marketing and worked in getting attention. But anyone could sit down and do that today. Eventually, the fans will want to know more about you, almost to validate why they should invest in you and make you rich and famous. Tory's music created an underdog social image at first, but then he became this funny social character that while many loved it, it opened him up to judgment. The height being the same size sitting or standing, his basketball capable or incapabilities. As far as appearance, all the famous hair memes clowning his hairline so much that later he was forced to have it professionally fixed. Before Quarantine Radio in 2020, Lanez's image had become almost clownish to listeners, and for that he wasn't taken seriously and his audience actually began to dwindle. Evident by both his 2018 releases being some of the biggest disappointments of the year. It didn't help at the time he and his idol Drake still had fans going at each other because of his whole imitation of Drake and the 2016 back and forth from both. The clowning of him on social media was enough to trap him in a weird place that he wasn't selling like before, but also creating the perfect character to create something like a quarantine radio that completely changed all that. He was coming off a 2019 gold album and newfound buzz created on Instagram, heading into a bright future. Then, stunt number 3, the shot everyone's heard.
Dance.
Or seen, or know about, or has their own opinion as to what possibly happened. It's literally everywhere in black culture if you haven't been under a rock since 2020. On July 12th of that year, Tory Lanez and group, including fellow rapper and alleged girlfriend at some point, were leaving a house party and gotten into an argument. It somehow turned physical, and all we know for sure is that Meg Thee Stallion was shot and pressing charges against Tory Lanez. She didn't initially come clean about the shooting and swore that it was just glass that cut her feet. A month later, she revealed that Tory Lanez shot her through Instagram Live. On September 25th, he released his 5th album, Daystar, which was to me his best project. But because of the controversy behind shooting a black woman in the all black women are queens and saints era, whether accident or not, caused the album to flop, becoming his lowest charting album of his career, selling just 36,000 first week. He was making his best music, yet no one cares as of 2021, and not many will until whatever this is he and Meg Thee Stallion are in is all cleared up. On the album, he seems defiant as he vows to bring the truth about what happened to light, which only made the situation worse, because not only are you not giving fans a direct line of "Are you guilty or not?", but to fans of Megan who wanted some sort of remorse shown, this wasn't it. I get the case is still open, but that's even more reason to simply leave it alone. He's now being ordered to stand trial in the incident on criminal charges, which he now faces 22 years in prison if convicted. All in all, Tory Lanez has had a whirlwind of a 5 to 6 year run and was just about to have the turning point of that run happen for him before the Meg situation. That one incident is being dragged on and on, going on 2 years, and both sides still remaining in their initial position. Whether he beats it or not, I don't see him gaining the all-important female fan base ever again, and men don't support music in a way that sees him surpass his past achievements. Is his career dead? No, but in a chokehold, and seems it will be for a while. Salute to Tory Lanez, much respect, but for these reasons, his growth was stunted. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth Music, and I'm out.